So, good morning. Today we're going to learn how to do Upma, which is a cream of wheat dish. It's an Indian dish, Upma. But first I have my friend here who is waiting for her Upma, her little breakfast. So I'm going to get her her breakfast. Every day she comes, and I have to make sure that I don't push her off when I open this, and I also have to make sure that she doesn't come in. But let's see if she comes back. She comes to all my windowsills, wherever I am, and she knows she'll get a treat. Here. Hi, girl. Here's a little ant that's gotten lost in the house. I want to get him out. I think we saved an ant this morning, and we're going to feed our squirrel. Come on, girl. So in the meantime, we are going to have Upma, and here's the menu. It's 1 cup of cream of wheat, 6 cups of boiling water, 1 cup frozen peas, limas or beans, 1/2 medium onion diced, 1 fresh teaspoon of fresh ginger, and my Indian base, which is a teaspoon of mustard seeds, teaspoon of cumin, tablespoon of black gram, tablespoon of chana dal, 2 red chilies, and 1, that should be teaspoon, of asafoetida or hing. So we'll go to it now. And there she is enjoying her breakfast. We can use this cream of wheat, which is whole grain. It has a ton of protein in it. If you go to the Indian store, it says suji, farina. So you can get a big Lakshmi brand suji. And this is not whole wheat like the other cream of wheat, but this is what we use a lot, and this is what I'll use today. Just see her before we go. She's having her breakfast. So in here I just have 6 cups of boiling water. That's about all I prepared in advance. So it's now 10:15. We're going to start. Here are all the ingredients that I happen to put out. This is the 1 cup of peas. They're frozen peas. You can use lima beans or green beans. I'm just going to, because they were frozen, I'm just going to cook them there in the water. I might not use all the water, but I'll definitely use all of the peas. I'm going to start this was boiled earlier, so I'll just move that over here. Get that going. Boiling some more. That's just going to be hot. And remember, hot into a pan can cause an explosion, so we'll be extra careful. Here, I'm going to dry roast my cream of wheat. And it can burn easily, so you put it on a medium flame, and then you're just going to shake it from time to time, and it just dries. This is also the base for many delicious, easy desserts that we'll go over. Now, in my frying pan, sesame seed oil, I couldn't find my whisk, so I'm going to use this, but normally you would whisk this when it's done. as I'm waiting for this to heat up, this is just ginger. Sometimes we have a tablespoon. We're also going to make chutney later. So the ingredients for this meal, the upma alone, are these. 1 tablespoon of ginger, 2 of red chilies. This is my Indian base. Here's some curry leaves. This is black gram. This is the chana dal that you'll find. I'll show you. This is just cumin. And this is the mustard seed that will pop. And here's half of a medium onion. So I wanted to show you, whenever I chop up ginger, I go ahead and chop more, and then this will be frozen. I'll put this in the freezer. Ginger freezes really well. Now some recipes you'll see on the web, they talk about inches of ginger rather than tablespoons of ginger, so it's just here to get an estimate of how much you want. If they say use a half an inch or an inch, 2 inches, I happen to use a lot, and I like it. So this is heating up now. I'm going to keep shaking this, and you might be able to see it gets a little browner. This is starting to cook, and because the onions take a while, I'm going to fry them separately and incorporate them later. Put them back here. Once they fry up a bit, I will add the ginger in there too, possibly, or maybe here. But for now, I'm going to be cooking my base, which again is these 6 things, I guess. And I'm going to pour the mustard seeds in here. They're going to sputter, so I definitely did cover this. And just to show you, the dye is still there. So I turn it down a bit. This is quite hot. This is just a teaspoon. You can add more. This keeps well in the freezer or the fridge. If you make extra, it's a great meal, lots of protein, and we have this for breakfast quite often. This is starting to sputter. So these have sputtered. You really need to hear them sputtering. This is my Indian base, which is 1 tablespoon I used. Mustard, seeds, 1 teaspoon cumin that you can also get at the international store, 1 tablespoon black gram. It's called black gram, but when we see it, it's really white. So these are done. Put them there. Add a little bit more. I'll just cook these up and put them over there. Shake, shake, shake. You see how it's getting dark? toasted. And you're just trying to get a little toasted effect, not super dark. As a matter of fact, I should turn the heat down. And the pot is hot enough to keep toasting it a little bit. So, again, you can caramelize this and the onions as well. But for this dish, I don't have to do that. Some dishes, and caramelize is when the edges get real nice gooey brown. These are nice. Remember, the oil disseminates the flavor, and that's why I'm doing this. So I'm just going to transfer this there. Wipe that off. So now I'm just going to fry up my chana dal. And I do fry them separately because these get toasted quicker than the others. So I just take a little extra minute. And this is about done. You see it's starting to stick down there, which I don't want. So I'm going to put the hot water back here so it can stay being hot. And again, this can be a dangerous dish to prepare. So you need to have, because you're going to be pouring hot water into here, it's going to explode. So you definitely need to take precaution before combining the two. This is pretty much done. I'm just going to turn it down. This is done. I'm going to put it in there. I also do them separately, so if you burn one or the other, which I've been known to do, you've only ruined one part of it. I'm going to check these. I don't think they popped properly, so I'm going to do some more. I think I burned them. So these are getting brown. Throw them in here. Now, you see these are crunchy. And people often don't like crunchy things in their upma. So you can even put some water in here to get this starting to be soft, which I'm going to do. I have this close by because it could explode a little bit. And now these seeds, the black gram and the chana dal, are hard. I like them crunchy, others don't. So I'm just going to pour some water in here. I'm going to be careful with this, so it can start to soften. And that's all that's about. Here's my cumin, which just takes a minute to cook. Fries up really quickly. And this is just cooking lightly. And I'm going to put this. The reason I'm not putting it in there, it would get stuck to the whole wheat and make it gooey. But if this were fried veggies of some sort, I would just pour it all into the one pot. All I have left is some curry leaves that you can also get at the Indian store. Sometimes they're dried, but most often you find them in the fridge section. A little bit more oil. I'm just going to shake this again because the pot is hot, so it's still roasting a little bit. I'm going to actually put more curry leaves. You'll find your own taste. I'd say maybe a tablespoon of curry leaves. Now that goes in there. It really helps to wipe this off, and it keeps your stove clean. And now I'm just going to fry up these. Then the last, of course, will be the asafetida. The asafetida, as I mentioned, we keep this in a special jar so it doesn't smell up the whole house. And you can put it in a jar, in another jar, if the smell bothers you. But we like it, and that's so we use it. So I'm just going to fry this up a little bit. And I'm pretty convinced I overcooked this. And the good thing is, because they're all separate, I can get rid of that, and the dish is still safe. I'm going to put, now this is hot, oily into hot, so you should be careful. It can sputter and burn, so you have to be careful. So to do the mustard seeds well, this has to be hot. Once the mustard seeds hit the pan, they start popping, and then it's done really quickly. So just heating it up a little bit more. And I definitely need a lid for this, because they sputter all over. Just about a tablespoon. I hope you can hear it. That's the way it's got to sound. So I'm pretty sure that they've popped. So the trick is really to have the pot and the oil very hot when you put them in, so they pop before burning, which I hadn't done a minute ago. But I feel confident that they have. That they pop. Clean that off. And now my last ingredient is my asafetida. It's here they call it gum Arabic with wheat starch. The wheat starch keeps it powdery. Asafetida. It's also known as hing, H-I-N-G. Asafetida powder, and it's a resin, and we happen to like it a lot. So I'm just going to put a little bit more oil. The pan's very hot, and about a teaspoon. It's a gum, a resin, so it'll get gummy here. So I just want to put it in the oil to disseminate the oil, the flavor. Okay, so that was my base. I'm going to put this on here. This does not need to be on anymore. Of course, this has to go under lock and key, so we don't get asked to leave the neighborhood. So now this is the dangerous part. Hot water. This pan is hot. And again, I should have a whisk. I can't find my whisk, so I'm going to use this. So this is dangerous. We have to be careful. We haven't added any salt, so I would say 2 teaspoons of salt. You'll probably add more. We're not sure we need all the water, but once I put some water here, then I'll fish out the peas that now are definitely cooked. I'll put them in, then I'll add this, the base, and then we'll play around with the thickness and whatever's needed with the water. So to start with, I'm going to get this on low, that on low. This is close by. And I have some cloths if I need it. So this should be. Wasn't too bad. This cooks really quickly and it starts sputtering and it's very hot. So I'm going to cover that while I fish out these peas, and just to make it easy, the transfer, I'm going to put the peas in there, leaving the water in here to see how much we actually need. Some people like their Oopma very loose, and some people like it hard and sticky. So you'll find your own, what you like yourself. Now this is really hot, and it's now, if I didn't have a few peas in here, this is what you would have for some of the desserts we're going to make together. But you saw the process of roasting it, dry roasting it, then preparing it. And this is also on its own a great breakfast. But we're going to add all of these things in it. I may have prepared too much. So again, this can be used for another time. It could go in the fridge, but let's see for now. This is going to continue to thicken, and I will continue to, add salt and water. I'll use this water as it thickens. And if you can see the time, it's only 8:38, so we've only been at this a little over 15 minutes. Now, it's true I did have the veggies chopped up in advance. So I'm going to let this sit for a minute on low. Tablespoon chana. Dal. You'll see a lot of the words dal. Dal are just the beans or pulses. 2 red chilies. 1 teaspoon asafoetida. I was going to put this nuclear sign here, but I don't know how to do that, to keep it under lock and key. So this is basically my Bobby's Indian base, and you'll develop your own. This is standard, and this is what you'll get used to, and you'll do it in your sleep eventually. I'm going to check it. And I'm going to taste it, but without contaminating it, by taking a spoon. This spoon will not touch this spoon, and once I've touched it, tasted it, I'm going to put this away. So any germs I have will not come here, and I'll taste it. So I'm putting this in the sink. Pretty good. I think there is enough salt for me. For my husband, there isn't. So I'm going to add another teaspoon. So I think this will have had 3 teaspoons of salt. I'm going to let this cook a little bit more on low. I'm going to put it on the back, and now I'm going to make some chutney. When this, if it becomes too thick after it cooks a little while more, I'll continue to add this in there because it has all the veggies we like. But this, if I don't use it, I'll put it in a bottle and I'll use it another time for another recipe. So this is essentially done. But for some altering, I'll show you later how it looks when it's dished out. But we started it at 10:15. It's 10:41 now, so it's I would say 10:45, about a half an hour. So I hope you learned a lot. In the meantime, my squirrel, Miss Lumpy, has finished her food and she's gone. She's not there anymore. And I'm glad I fed her. So I hope you enjoyed this Oopma. And I hope it was not confusing at all. Thank you guys. Bye-bye. Okay. So here's the plate of the Upma. That's there. And again, it can be green beans, green peas, lima beans, whatever you want. This is just a little soy yogurt. South Indians eat a lot of curd or yogurt, and being vegan, I only eat soy yogurt, loving the dairy cow, letting her free. And these are the pickles. That's a lemon pickle. That's carrot pickle. And there again is our famous chutney, coconut chutney. Now you're really, now when you're able to make your chutney, you see how it just explodes the possibilities for a great meal. So I hope you enjoy it. Some people also drizzle some oil on top. If you like, you can afford it because there's hardly any oil. So you could drizzle a little sesame or canola oil on top. I hope you enjoy it. Thank you. Bye-bye. You ready, Arlo?